In NLP, we say that every piece of information that comes into us through our five senses, that we receive through our nervous system, goes through one of these three processes. So we have deletion. We have distortion. And we have generalization.
That's so destructive on the message. 3 directions to destroy a message.
Well, it changes the message, certainly. And I think if you've ever been in love before, you're already very familiar with these 3 processes. Because, you know, if you go back and remember being in love with someone, remember how perfect they are in your eyes, that perfect hair, the eye color you've always found most attractive, the way they walk, that laugh they make from time to time, that cheeky smile, that one feature you just can't resist. It's like the only person who will ever meet all of your standards is right here, right in front of you, right now. And you tell yourself that this is the person you've always been looking for in your heart of hearts. You feel that this is exactly the right person for you. And yet, the truth is, this is not the person you've always been looking for. But because you feel this way about them, because you are madly in love with them, you've distorted their features. You've changed them into the person that you wanted them to be. Maybe you were never really attracted to people with that hair color before. Or maybe people from that part of the world were never really that attracted to you before you met this person. But because you're madly in love with them, you change all of those things. You change what's going on the inside. Or have you ever had this experience? One of your friends is getting into a relationship with someone that you don't think it's going to work out for them. Maybe it's just that they're not compatible, or maybe you think that this other person's not good enough for your friend. So you decide to, have a word. And maybe that message isn't received with the same kindness with which it was intended. Because when distortion's at work, that's okay. Because these things simply mean one thing to the lovers and something else to everyone else. But when deletion's at work, these things are gone. They don't exist. And why would you make up something like that anyway? What is it? Are you just jealous? Don't you want me to be happy just because you're miserable? Whoa. Suddenly you're in an episode of EastEnders. And sometimes these relationships do work. Sometimes they don't. Very often, though, they lead to this kind of thinking. I'll never date another redhead. I could never trust another British person in a relationship. Every time I let someone get close to me, ... Every time I let my guard down, such and such happens. I mustn't let myself get too involved. These are all examples of generalizations. And the fact is that sometimes the process of deletion, distortion, and generalization does increase our happiness. Other times it has the opposite effect.